she's one of the maybe leader of women in tech. So there is a woman in tech global community, and she's.
Are you going to? Will she come to Japan for the Osaka summit?
Yeah, Osaka summit. Yeah,
I'll be there.
They'll go with 25 people, like Kazakhstan delegation.
Oh, actually, I will be there. We are the co-host.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's inside the expo, so we co-host and we will have members like doing moderation, like running the panels.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
I'll be there. Yeah,
they'll be there for
3
please
days. I'll be there for the second and third day. Yeah, for opening it's just like a night, so I think like for the second and third days.
Yeah, and on the way back they will go to Tokyo. I will only meet with her in Tokyo.
I think we will meet in Osaka first.
Yeah.
Can you like create a group so like I can show them around maybe?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And so we also discussed about next trip. So she was very curious about crypto in Japan.
Oh, nice.
And we are thinking maybe we can make a few groups to come to Japan for different topics, like for crypto, just for general, for startups or tech, and also for investments and for retail. Yeah, and I'm trying to convince her to come to IVS crypto.
Sure.
So today we also should talk a little bit of.
But there's no IVS crypto this year.
Oh, really? No IVS crypto.
There's IVS Global. Like IVS crypto changed the name to IVS Global. So we have crypto contents, but it's not like 100% crypto.
Okay, it's fine.
We still have some crypto companies. Doing sessions, pitches, and sponsorships.
But you still can talk a little bit of crypto, right?
Yeah, I can. But that's not like a very important point anymore. Because the market is like shit too.
But why did you change website to crypto style, like old school gaming and crypto?
It's not crypto style. It's like a nostalgic style.
Yeah, it's not like a nostalgic, but I think in crypto they sometimes use this type of style.
Yeah. We understand that's a culture boom. Of course, like using by crypto too, but that's not only by crypto. Money like.
Yeah, that's true. Especially for Japan, it's
renaissance.
Not only crypto.
It's a renaissance for the culture.
Okay, so for topics we will start with IVS. I will just ask like about what's the IVS.
Okay.
So the main goal of this videos, we will do short videos for reels.
Oh, nice.
And ideally, including my question and your answer, we should fit within like 30 seconds.
Yeah, of course. It will be very short. Like it's always one sentence.
Yeah. 1-2 sentences is enough. Yeah. So we do like multiple videos and then combine them together. Most likely, most of them will be just vertical ones. We will keep the horizontal one, maybe for future for YouTube video, or we will just use different angles. Yeah, but most likely just for reels will be just vertical. So we will start with IVS. Maybe like what is IVS? Then I will ask about the community, like how do you build this community, and also we will probably ask like why is it like in Kyoto, not Tokyo. Then I may ask. Maybe I can also ask about the history, like who created IVS, like like also why did you join, like how, what's your role in IVS?
Yeah, of course.
So this will be topic only about IVS. Then we can also talk a little bit of crypto and startups and overall like business culture. So if you can also say a bit of Japanese startup ecosystem, then about maybe some startup examples. I will ask like any trendy or like hot startups nowadays in Japan. Separately, I will ask about crypto. Like, what can you say about crypto in Japan? Web3. Then. You're already recording? Okay. So we can just keep ask one question. Yeah, and at any time we can just switch between topics, right? Okay. Is this angle okay? We have just switched. And so I'm holding papers and V plus this laptop is fine, right? Or do we need to put it off? Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just saying about the topic. So maybe we focus on IVS crypto startups here, and then we can move to other place and do more personal questions in another spot. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's start with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me about IVS. What is IVS?
So in short, IVS is the largest startup conference in Japan, and every stakeholder in Japanese startup ecosystem, entrepreneurs, investors, government, they all know IVS, and they are coming once a year. It's an annual festival for them.
And how big is the IVS? And is it happening every year? Sorry, you already covered that. So how big is the IVS in terms of Japanese startup ecosystem and global?
Oh yeah, well, IVS is largest in Japan. So every year we have 12,000 people coming in the main event, and also at the same time, we have 350 side events. So
300. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So in total number, maybe about 50,000.
Wow, impressive. Is it in Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto?
So basically, during our history of 17 years, we never do offline event in Tokyo. It's always in the remote areas.
Okay.
And for these 3 years, we are holding IVS in Kyoto, which is the Asian capital of Japan.
And why is it Kyoto?
Well, one is for the awareness of the global participants, because Kyoto is an iconic tourist attraction, tourist destination in Japan, and also for the capacity. So before we were running in Okinawa, in some smaller cities, but we don't have enough hotels. So Kyoto has a good infrastructure, so many tourists coming, so mostly hotels, department stores, convenience store have good, those people have good English skills. So yeah, welcoming everybody from all around the world.
Oh, interesting. And which days are for IVS? When is it happening, the IVS?
So this year is July 2, 3, and 4, 3 days in a row.
And what's the difference? Like if you join only for 1 day or for all 3 days in a row, how would you suggest for people who don't know IVS and wants to attend as attendee?
And we recommend everybody to join the whole 3 days, because IVS is not only for the daytime conference. It's also about communication in nighttime. So as I mentioned, we have 300 side events. So at night, basically in Kyoto, everyone you see on the street, they will wear IVS badge. So please just talk to them.
Right.
Enjoying hopping to all the parties.
Can you tell a little bit about crypto in Japan, and especially how does IVS help to drive crypto trend in Japan and global ecosystem?
So IVS held the first global crypto conference in Japan from 2022. It's called IVS Crypto. So I was a founder for that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
So I was doing this for 3 years and become the most influential crypto event in Japan, also in Asia as well. But this year, yeah, we changed a little bit the name to IVS Global. So we still have Web3 contents, but it's not going to be 100% crypto.
And could you tell a little bit more about the main industries focusing for IVS? If it's not only crypto, what else? Is it like AI, deep tech?
Yes, especially for the interest of Japan, AI definitely, entertainment, and deep tech, including biotech tech, space tech, this kind of things.
Amazing. And do you think it's worth attending for early stage startups, for later stage corporates? How do you think?
I want to say all stages.
All stages.
So it's for startup founders from all stages, even you pre-stage to pre-IPO or after even you get IPO'd.
So in Kazakhstan and also overall in Central Asia, there are many startups or companies that doesn't attend Japan that often, doesn't attend Japanese conferences. And what do you think is so special for Central Asian companies, maybe who wants to explore Japanese market and who wants to start from IVS? Like, what might be so special about IVS for the first touch with Japanese ecosystem?
So IVS is the most global conference I can say for if you want to know the startup scene in Japan. And Japan as an unknown destination for most of people. I think I was in Kazakhstan. Most people go to Dubai, Singapore, the United States, right? Japan is quite unknown, so we perform as a entrance hub for the startup founders.
Oh, great! Yeah, sorry, some questions are very stupid. I should prepare, but yeah. Yeah, let's talk then also about about startups, like unique startups, hot startups. Right. Can you tell a bit more about maybe hyped startups or hot startups nowadays in Japan?
So training startups, definitely the mobile payment, fintech is quite trendy. We got PayPay, and they usually covered I think more than 50% of the market share in few years. And also something like mobility, right? Loop, which is like the scooter startups, also doing very good job. I think those like trendy things. But yeah, still like most of Japanese startups who's getting famous are doing this kind of like time machine business model. So those business models like come from China maybe 3 or 4 years, and then they come to Japan. They came to Japan like 3 or 4 years after and spread around. So we can say like Japan is like a few years behind, but those people who sees a chance to bring the newest business model from overseas, I guess succeed.
So for both for PayPay and also for Loop for scooters, I think we do have startups in Kazakhstan. Like for PayPay, it is Kaspi, so it's a well-known fintech company that covers pretty much every payments, e-commerce in not only Kazakhstan but the world, in Central Asia. And да ладно, ничего страшного, пусть.
No, yeah, just let them go.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, we're gonna cut this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
maybe can we just have this question again? Maybe I'll ask the whole question again.
Okay. What I was talking about. For PayPay, no, I think for startup it was fine. Like nobody was working. I can just continue my part. Yeah. So for in Kazakhstan we have similar companies like PayPay and Loop for scooters. So it's a well-known company in fintech. It's Kaspi. They also cover all the online payments, e-commerce, not only in Kazakhstan, overall in Central Asia. I think they now expanding to Turkey. And what do you think if similar companies like PayPay or like Loop, if they want to enter Japan as a first maybe, if they want to enter Japan as a new market, do you think the competition is very high, or what would be the best thing to start for big companies and medium companies who doing similar business that already succeeded in Japan from China?
Yeah, of course I know Kaspi, right? I was in Kazakhstan, and I know how amazing Kaspi is. In Japan, they don't have something like as amazing as Kaspi. I do think like there's a lot of chance for even the fintech solutions from Kazakhstan to try to expand their market in Japan. So what I want to say is to collaborate with some big corporates or some famous startup first, and then figure out how we can do it in the next.
Amazing. Okay, startups, Kaspi. Okay, amazing. Very glad to hear about. We got to hear about your experience about Kaspi, about startups, and also about your trip to Kazakhstan. So, could you tell a bit more about your latest trip to Kazakhstan? What did impress you the most? What do you think about the Kazakhstan ecosystem, startup ecosystem, as well as the country itself? If you had a chance to talk to some people, of course.
Yeah, I think Kazakhstan is just amazing city. It's just amazing country. Again, sorry. I think Kazakhstan is amazing country with amazing views, amazing food, amazing atmosphere, and great culture as well. So just like no one knows about it in Japan, so which is I feel very sad about it. And I also joined a few like pitch events running by Yandex Cloud, which is amazing. I'm meeting a lot of like startup founders too. Everybody's super energetic, and the most important is everybody has like horizon of the global market, which is not really like Japan. So everybody's thinking about expanding market, not only in Central Asia but also in other regions. which is like very inspiring as well.
Oh, thank you for saying this. Yeah. Okay, what else we can ask? IVS, crypto. Japanese investors. About investors. What are Japanese investors looking for? Okay. Right. Could you tell us a bit more about Japanese investors? What are they looking for in startups, in entrepreneurs, and are they open for foreigners who wants to expand to Japan?
So there's definitely two types of investors. One is like independent VCs. So they're looking for, of course, like the entrepreneurs with a good team. Because in Japan, like people are more looking for like a little bit more long-term run. So they will check the team, check the person, of course. So building a relationship with those VC partners are important. Another type are CVCs, so corporate venture capitals. Actually, I think they are also very dominating in Japan because in Japan's startup ecosystem, like big corporates have a big portion as a big players. So sometimes, in many cases, they're looking for the synergies with their current business. So thinking about not only the financial performance, but also like how you can create the synergies together with those big corporates.
Amazing. Okay, just 1 second. Corporates. Maybe we can. Would you like to say something about corporates? Like if I ask about CVC, how to approach to CVC, how to make connections with big corporates for companies, for startups. Because CVC is not a very big thing in Kazakhstan, so many people are asking about it. What is CVC in Japan and what are like corporates? It's okay, right?
Well, the easiest way is to come into IVS.
Yeah.
And you meet every CVC.
Wait, we didn't start. It's really
yeah. Well, how you contact with CVC? How you deal with the CVC? So what's the question?
How should we make it? Oh, okay. Let's ask this. So, could you share any tips? Like how do you have any advice for companies and startups in Kazakhstan? How they can approach to CVCs or overall just to corporates in Japan, so that they get a better chance, higher chance to get a follow-up email, and also they can talk about potential investments.
Well, you may need a first touch of those CVCs, those corporates, and I think the most efficient first touch will be joining IVS, of course. So you will be in IVS we providing a lot of like communication spaces, so you can reserve a meeting inside the venue, and you can use a booth, and you can even join side events run by the CVCs. So that's all the approaches you can get to the first touch of the CVCs.
Amazing. Okay, a little bit more about booths. So we are going to bring Central Asian companies to IVS, and we will have a small pavilion for the delegation. And what would you recommend for companies who wants to have a booth and do the marketing, branding, and business matching? Okay, we can start the game.
Can I answer?
Okay, the past. All right. So we're gonna have a pavilion. We're gonna have a pavilion for Kazakhstan and Central Asian delegation this year for IVS. And what would you recommend for them? How just general recommendations for doing branding, for positioning themselves on IVS, for those who will have a booth.
So IVS is not just another conference, right? It's a conference you meet with the right people. So thinking about the approach about like who you want to meet. So basically, there's what kind of like Japanese players you want to meet, and present in the right way. So basically, just present your solution. If you have a demo, show the demo. Yeah, rather than just make a poster or the deck, because yeah, we have the chances for you to like show something like people can touch with, and also like be more like proactive. So having booths and also getting to our system to find out the participant you're interested in and make appointment for them in your booth. So that's also very efficient as well.
For startups who are looking for investments from Japanese, for startups who is looking for investments during IVS, do you think they can have a booth, they can get the first touch, and later on do a follow-up meeting in person in Kyoto right after the conference? Or do you think it is better to just email them and have an online meeting? Like, okay, actually, no. Let's change the question. For way of doing follow-up for investments. Okay. Maybe let's start from this networking in Japan, like networking culture in Japan.
Yeah.
How do people do networking? How do they do the first?
That's better.
Yeah. Okay. So IVS is a huge conference, and people will probably meet a lot of potential clients, partners, maybe investors, and thus they will be able to showcase their product. And what would you recommend, or maybe share a little bit about Japanese networking business culture, Japanese business culture in networking? Okay, let's just continue. Okay,
so three things. The first is to remember to bring your business card, or in Japanese we call it meshi. So that's a must. Usually in IVS, the average business developer will spread out about 300 to 400 business cards. So bring enough business card. It's very important. And then be patient. So in Japan, most of the companies have a longer time to do decision making. But definitely, if you got a chance to meet them after the conference in Kyoto, meet them offline, which is better than online meetings. So that's also a part of Japanese culture we call nemawashi. So building the personal relations first, and then you'll be faster in those decision making within those companies. And third one is to keep the what, or like in Japanese, like it means harmony. So don't be too aggressive. So and always notice about those non-verbal communications from your client.
Great, thank you. And about language, right? What do you think? Right. Great, thank you. And do you think they should also translate everything to Japanese, or is just English? Is everything in English is fine? Oh, okay, sorry, like this. Great, thank you. Do you think they should translate everything in Japanese, as well as the Meishi, business cards, their products, websites, the banners, or just English is enough?
I think like English first is enough, because all the investors who are interested to invest overseas, they will see from the English, they understand English, especially for people who are attending IVS. So especially in IVS global area, this is English only area. So people, we assume everybody speaks English coming. But of course, if you want to get more like deeper connections with those big corporates, sometimes those like head of open innovation, they're not really professional in speaking English. So maybe bring a translator. Even it's like AI translator, that would be good. Maybe like will be better facilitate the communication as well. So have some materials translated at your hand will be a weapon for your business.
And how many people should be in a team during the conference? Do you think just one is enough, or you would suggest having a few more people so someone can explore the conference, someone can just stay in the booth, or they should change? What do you think?
Because IVS is a very huge conference. We have usually like 15 stages running at the same time. It's huge. So one person maybe standing in the booth and one person like explore run will be a good combination.
Okay.
I guess.
All right. This is this. Conference, investors, IVS. This one is a good question.
Mm-hmm.
What would be building to force? Okay, maybe I asked about success stories from startup success stories from IVS. Like, do you have any track records, companies who are with IVS, they made some good tractions and then later on they did some good achievements, something like this? Do you think you have something to share with them?
Yeah, of course. Well, IVS is
let me ask a question again. Okay. I was just like thinking what to ask. All right. So, do you have any success stories who attended IVS and later on did a great traction during the conference, and later on they did a good investments, they raised their startups to the next level, or maybe they expanded to global from Japan?
Yes, so IVS usually is the most important event for all startup founders could get fundraised or get M&A. So many cases. So I have a friend who joined IVS like 2 years ago, and last year she got M&A with very high valuation.
Wow, impressive.
And also for the foreign company, we got some one American like blockchain company who get joined IVS like last year, and then they find their like partner in Japan, and then they acquired that Japanese company and become one of the most important partner from with Expo Japan this year, and the only blockchain provider here. So they build all the connections in IVS basically.
This is huge. So we have a huge potential for any startups, any companies from Central Asia coming to Japan and thinking not only about expansion but also doing an exit.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, maybe we just do a few final questions and we can just wrap up.
Yeah, sure.
Summarize. Okay, I will do maybe first just talk by myself and you can just add anything what you have.
Sure.
Yeah. So to summarize everything what you got about IVS. Sorry, I need to drink. Alright, so to summarize everything what you got about IVS. So everyone from Central Asia can come to IVS. Everyone can attend any stage of startups. There can be at least one up to 2 or 3 people during the conference. It's recommended to have everything in English and ideally translate a little bit to Japanese, but it's not needed. It's not important, right? Also, there is a chance to meet investors and potentially do exit M&A from Japanese corporates. Also, you can find and do business matching with startups, with corporates, investors, and government programs.
Yeah.
Also, it's a unique location. Kyoto is a previous it's historical. It's Kyoto. It's a historical place for Japan, and what else I should say? Also about it. And this year in Japan there will be Expo. And this year in Japan there will be Expo 2025 in Osaka, which is just 1 hour by train from Kyoto. So after attending IVS for 3 days from July 2nd to July 5th, from July 2nd to July 4th, you can just go to Osaka and do recovering. And especially if you do follow-up meetings, it's better to do it in these locations. So do you have anything else what you would like to add for Kazakhstan audience and for Central Asian startup founders? Sorry, no, let's ask it a different way. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for all the important information. It was very helpful. All right. Thank you very much for explaining everything about IVS. I think it is very valuable information for our startup founders, for investors, for people who want to expand to Japan or just find a way to do exit and to know more about additional option for them to go to East Asia. And do you have any final words for Central Asian companies, startups, entrepreneurs, investors what would you recommend or maybe say for them about IVS or about Japan?
Of course, just like one advice about setting a goal before coming to IVS. It's about either you want to bring your business to Japan or either you want to get some resources from Japan, right? You want to bring your business to Japan, then that's big corporates and like some famous startups will be your like target to talk with. If you want to bring something from Japan, especially like resource like investment, or some resources like Japan is very sufficient with its culture, IP, animation, comic. So we offer a platform like all for those big companies for you to collaborate with. Also for the investment, so talking with definitely the CVCs, the VCs, also talking with the government, like JETRO, who are one of our most biggest sponsor too. They represent like Japanese government to help like overseas like startups to come to Japan and also for like Japanese companies to come to overseas. I think that will be building a great relations between two sectors.
Great, amazing. By the way, did we ask? Did I ask about like who you are? Like what do you do in IVS?
No.
No. Okay, just let's ask again. Also the first question. Okay. Huh?
Introduction.
Yeah, introduction. Yeah. Okay, maybe I will start like just saying like hi everyone. Today we have V Plus and from IVS. Can you tell me? Okay. Hi everyone. Today hi everyone. Today from Tokyo we have V Plus from IVS, and we will talk about the biggest conference in Japan that will be in July 2nd to July 4th. So V Plus, could you please tell us a bit more about yourself and about IVS? Sorry, could you please tell us a bit? So, hi V Plus, could you please tell us a little bit more about yourself and your role in IVS?
Hello, I'm V Plus. I'm the head of IVS Global, so managing all the global contents and partnerships, and also as well as the engagement for IVS. Well, IVS is the largest and oldest startup conference in Japan.
Okay, awesome. What else? Do you need any more questions about Intra? Yeah, ecosystem. Okay. And personal questions you want to ask here? Just general talk questions like any favorite sports. Okay, let's just do final like 5 minutes, and I will just
maybe some questions about like why IVS is interesting, like why people like IVS. Maybe something to make this more attractive. Yeah, more general, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So could you tell us why IVS is so interesting?
Well, IVS is actually we're running by investors and founders and for investors and founders. So we're not running by just event companies, right? Like including me, we're an investor, and we bring all the founders in the center of startup things in Japan to create all the contents.
So IVS company can also invest into companies.
So IVS is not a company; we are a platform shared by the whole Japanese startup ecosystem. So as one of the stakeholder I'm from Headline, which is one of the largest VC venture capital in Japan.
And how big is the fund of Headline?
In globally, we have about 4 billion of AUM.
Wow, impressive. And do you invest into startups from overseas or only in Japan?
So we global venture capital. So we invest into a company all around the world.
Oh, impressive. And, could you please tell us a bit more about just general startup ecosystem in Japan? What's so special about Japanese startup ecosystem?
So a few things to talk about the Japanese startup ecosystem. So one is the big corporates are still dominating. So there's like open innovation department for the big corporates. They have the right to do M&A and investment. So we just make very big. And also a government is supporting a lot. We have so many like ministries like supporting like the startups, and also local government, and also JETRO to supporting all like the foreign startups to come into Japan.
What's the difference if company opens a? What's the difference for startups if they incorporate in Tokyo, in Kyoto, Osaka, or maybe Sapporo? The difference between regions, prefectures.
What's the difference between the cities?
Yeah, between the cities. Is there any special domains that are focusing especially in Tokyo, or maybe if you're a specific area or industries of for a company, it's better to go to Sapporo, maybe Kyoto?
So let's talk about like Tokyo and also like Kansai area, including the Osaka and Kyoto. I think for the internet, definitely Tokyo is better. But if your business is more focused on manufacturing or like using some deep techs, want to collaborate with academics, I think Kyoto would be a great place.
Interesting. And so in Kazakhstan, many companies know retail brands such as Uniqlo, Muji. And do you think there is any opportunities for companies in Kazakhstan to do collaborations, or do they do also CVC in such companies like Uniqlo, like fast retailing, like their head company?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, for Muji and because I don't know for Muji and Uniqlo, I don't think they're doing. But it's off record. Yeah, but for others like Panasonic, Kyocera, like those of our Omron, those other sponsors, they're doing.
Oh,
yeah. So those big brands, Sony, of course, they're doing. So if you want to collaborate with those companies, of course, we can support.
By the way, could you please tell us a bit? Could you please tell us some big names who are sponsoring IVS? Maybe there is a chance for companies who come from Central Asia. You can have a chance to meet them, their representatives, or even do some business matching during the conference, right?
So we got sponsored from those big corporates like Panasonic, Omron, Mitsubishi, Nomura, so like Mitsubishi UFJ, and also SoftBank. So yeah, Sapporo, the beer company. And also those international companies who have headquarters in Japan, like Google, Lenovo, Amazon, Dell, those companies.
Interesting. Okay. Any advice for startups for an elevator pitch in Japan? What should they talk about, especially during the conference? Probably they don't have that much time when people come to their booth. It's about like 15 to maybe 60 seconds per person, right? What would you recommend them to structure their? What would be your recommendation for them? How to structure their pitch, elevator pitch, during the conference?
So two things. One is to apply to Launchpad. So this year we're welcoming all the international participants to apply for us. So Launchpad is the biggest startup like pitch contest in Japan. We have 17 years history, and our participants, finalists got, I think, M&8, like 38 companies get like IPO or M&8.
Wow, it's impressive.
Secondly is to book time into our system. So this year we have the whole event system for you to book the meetings with all the stakeholders in Japan. So you can search by hashtags for the people, for the companies you're interested in, and book meetings with them into our meeting space or in your booth.
All right, great. I think that's good. Right? Do you have anything else? What do you think we should share? We should talk.
No, like side events, maybe books, side events. Do Kazakh company like interesting in like the IPs, comics, like those?
Yeah. Okay. The creative industry is huge in Kazakhstan.
Okay.
We have two companies who's interested in this.
Okay, well, yeah, we can talk about like what kind of companies those like big entertainment company come to IVS all the every year.
Okay.
So something like that.
How about the creative industry, entertainment, and do you think there is opportunity for Kazakhstan companies in these industries coming to Japan and having some good traction during the IVS? What could you say about this?
Yeah, so entertainment is always one of the one's biggest theme in IVS. We got all those famous game companies, Sega, Square Enix, Bandai Namco, like all of them like coming to every IVS every year. Also Nintendo, they coming too. So if you want to bring the Japanese IPs, get some licensing, well, please come to IVS and set a meeting with them.
You see, all the companies in creative industries, gaming, and entertainment, please come to IVS.
Yeah.
What else? Side event. Let's just cover the side event.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the opportunity of So, if Central Asian delegations comes to IVS, do you think there is opportunity to do a side event special for Kazakhstan or Central Asian delegation during the IVS or before or after all these days?
Yeah, I'd love to have a Kazakh or Central Asia side events. So every year we do have like Indian and Africa side events. So we can please let us know if you want to hold a side event we can support as well.
Amazing. And what people can do during the side event? Is it a speech, panel session, showcase a demo product?
Yeah, definitely everything about. So you can do a pitch, we can do panel discussion and showcases and talk with us, investors and big corporates directly in side events.
How many people usually attend the side event?
So during our last year's questionnaire, it's in average is 117 people per side event.
Impressive. And side events are usually happens only in Kyoto or also Osaka, Tokyo?
It can be anywhere actually. It's not only in Kyoto, and we can even do it in Tokyo as well. Right. But we're gonna list all the side events into our official website, so people join IVS will come and check it out.
Amazing, thank you. Good. Any closing message we should say? We will just cut many videos. Okay. Yeah, got it.
Nice.
Can I ask just 2 questions, personal questions? I mean, not IVS or yeah. No, because we just also can do some fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you based in Tokyo or do you also from Kyoto? Can you tell a bit more about yourself?
So I'm based in Tokyo now. Because of IVS, we usually go to Kansai, go to Kyoto like once a month or twice a month.
And what's your day-to-day life of being a part of IVS Global? What do you do?
So usually like 2 kind of things I'm gonna do. Basically, one is to design the whole structure and system. So to ensure like every stakeholder are fair and more engaged into contributing to IVS. The second is about to talk directly to our partners, especially the global partners from all around the world.
And what do you recommend to users? So in Kazakhstan, people usually use Instagram or LinkedIn for networking in a business area. What do you think is better to use in Japan when the foreign company comes to Japan?
Register a Facebook Messenger. I think that's like the only tool in Japan people use. But of course, I use Instagram and LinkedIn too.
But when you exchange Meishi cards, business cards, do you do follow-up emails or do you message on Facebook?
So it depends on people. Like if it's older people, email. If it's like in the middle-aged, it's like Facebook Messenger. If like it's a young entrepreneurs, maybe Twitter, like X.
So in Japan, Twitter or X is a big thing, or why people use Twitter and Facebook at the same time?
So I think X is more like tool for spreading. So if they have announcement, if they have press release, so X is easier for people to like spread their ideas and business. Facebook's Messenger is more like communication tools.
All right, and let's say we have this day-to-day like. So let's talk about companies who attended an IVS. Sorry, let's start this. Right. So let's talk about a special use case. We have a company from Central Asia who attended IVS. They just arrived like to Osaka, and they moved to Kyoto on July 1st. They made some preparations, set up the booth. First day, they do a lot of networking, pitch, they do business cards exchange, and at the end of the event, do they do follow-up right after that, or do they wait a little bit of more days? And what happens if the next day they meet the same person? Like, do they have to talk to them again? Like, what would you recommend of doing the networking, starting from the day 1, day 2, day 3, follow-up, before preparation, after preparation?
So if you want to make a deal, so meet the same person multiple times, even like once a day. So always do a follow-up after you met them, like within the day by midnight, which is actually like a polite business manner in Japan.
Interesting. And do people? Interesting. And are people open to take a photo in Japan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think in IVS, like taking photo is very common. So yeah, if you like, please take a photo.
Any other questions? What do you think? I think good, right? Already. Okay. Do you think anything else you want to do? Some hot trigger, like.
Yeah, the culture difference. Talk about like Nemashi and what and Meshi. I think that's it. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, so I think less aggressive in Japan and more like non-verbal communications. You're gonna like notice or guess small, indirect communications, and you're gonna like you're trying to understand the message from outside of the language. That's something like very difficult.
You have to read people.
You gotta read people. Like in Japan, Japanese call like kukyo read the air.
Yeah. Did you have any like bad experience of doing networking in Japan? Like, what would you recommend to avoid people to not make the same mistakes when they talk to?
So bring a lot of meshi, bring a lot of business card, not to be so aggressive, and yeah, understand the nonverbal communications and respect with the hierarchy. But I think like in Kazakhstan, like people respect the hierarchy too. I think we share the same Asian values. So I think that's very easy for Kazakh people, for Central Asian people.
Yeah, that's right. What did you say? Yeah, it covers. He also mentioned about Yandex, and we talk about Kaspi, PayPay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we have. Yeah. So we have potential who can join is a crypto, is a woman in tech, is a creative community, like the game dev. We have 3D animation, 2D animation companies. Who else? AI, and maybe some security. So that's different type of industries who might be joining IVS.
Yeah.
I think we covered pretty much everything for all of them, right?
Yeah. That's all covered.